Welcome to Average Dude's Slow Pitch.
Yo, Hendler here, the Average Dude's Slow Pitch. Today we're getting a chance to bring out three relatively new bats. Obviously the Pure's been out for a little while in this AOW13, but just restocked. But basically from my right to your left, and I'll put it in this order so it makes more sense barrel length-wise. But we got the Pure A13, so obviously the 13-inch model here. We're swinging a 26.5, so this is a half-ounce end load. Then we've got Everett Williams' all-new signature Victus Vibe 1275 yaya load, so that's like your half-ounce end load, one piece. And then we've got the Anarchy Shatter. This is also obviously a one-piece ACX7 Tech, 12.5-inch barrel, half-ounce end load. So we got a 13, 1275, and a half-ounce. I'm headed, actually, we're getting some swings in now. I'm leaving later today for Canada to go to the PIF, and so we're gonna be gone for about a week. We only have one BP day next week, so we don't want to risk, with the weather we've had lately, not getting some swings. So if you're wondering why we're not on an actual softball field today, again, the typical story here of Las Cruces. We got approved to use the field this morning. We get out there, they changed their mind, had to do something with the field. So we figured, hey, rather than making you wait a week, 2 weeks, whatever it comes out to see like the Vibe, Shatter, AOW13, we'll always come out here, get the radar running, and then you might be able to see them or not, but we basically set up trash cans. We went out, used Google Maps, measure those out to 315, so at least we have a visual reference for you as well, but still get the opinions of the guys, all that kind of stuff. And so with these, we figured, hey, we got a 13 and a 1275, so pretty close, both half-ounce end loads, obviously a two-piece and a one-piece. And then with these two, now we got two one-pieces, 1275, 12 and a half, only 0.25 obviously difference, both half ounces. So figure why not throw them kind of all in the same video, get you some content there with some different companies and go from there. So either way, you're gonna see Keith come up first. We're gonna start with the Shatter. He's gonna take about 30 swings there. When he's done, I'll come up with the Shatter, take my swings, and we'll finish. This is an all Pro M video, so these will have about 60 to 75 swings on them. Then we'll move to the Victus Vibe, and then we'll move over to the AOW13. I'll swing the Vibe first. Keith will finish the Vibe. He'll swing the AOW first, and I'll finish it up. We'll let you know as each guy comes up how many swings they're at. Either way, let's go ahead and get our swings, see how these perform, and then we'll get back to the house for on compression.
All right, first up, let's see where Everett Williams' Marucci. First up, let's see where Everett Williams' Victus Vibe is testing at. Again, as a reminder, this is a 1275 barrel with that yaya load, which is their half-ounce end load. And we're looking at just a little bit over 275, so a nice starting point to be able to take some BP, get some 52s, Pro-Ams, all that kind of fun stuff. And should have really no concerns based on what we've seen from their compression so far. And then we've got the 13-inch AOW from Pure. We swung the 12-inch back in January, haven't had a chance to try the 13. Figure with this being a half-ounce, the Victus being a half-ounce, only difference is 0.25 in barrel length. We might as well just throw them on the same video and see what they both give us. And this one's starting right at 275. So good starting point from both of these. We'll get a few 52s just to measure performance and then go with Pro-Ms and come back with final compression.
All right, we got the Anarchy Shatter. 12.5-inch barrel, half-ounce end load. Obviously one-piece ACX7 Tech.
87 miles per hour. 88 miles per hour.
Pretty sure all three bats you're going to swing started right at 275.
85 miles per hour. 86 miles per hour. 76 miles per hour.
Keith put right about 30 swings on this for us. Again, all Pro-Ms. Now I'm going to take my swings now before we move over to the Victus Vibe.
92 miles per hour.
Well, there's handle for you.
95 miles per hour.
Yeah, I mean, I carried well past our 315 mark out there, but I've noticed, and from talking to Keith as well, it's got a good overall feel, good feedback. However, sweet spot's definitely starting a little bit small, especially compared to like Brandon Newton's 7, which that video is actually dropping, assuming I dropped this when I meant to, it's dropping tomorrow for you guys, but definitely has a good sweet spot, just a little bit small now, obviously starting at 275. We've seen with Anarchy, they take some break in. So expecting that to open up. We by no means have any webbing or anything yet. But just know this is one that I would definitely take some BP with before gaming it.
104 miles per hour.
Yep, and there's our no kidding sweet spot. So that's the first time for me I felt like I caught the actual sweet spot. You get a really good feedback off the hands, but that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the slightly smaller starting sweet spot.
98 miles per hour.
That's close to sweet spot. But again, just like the Anarchy 7 and quite a few other ones where we've talked about when they start higher compression, you still get really good carry off of them. You still get good forgiveness. Now, the forgiveness carry don't come with top and exit velo, but again, we only use exit velo for measuring kind of the forgiveness piece. So we know, hey, 104 so far is our top off the sweet spot. That one, a little more elevated, slight miss, still got mid 90s, but the carry for us well past the 315 mark over there. And right now for us, it's about 80, 85 degrees and fairly humid. We've had a lot of rain at night, so it's by no means cold or anything out here. So to see good carries, pretty nice.
102 miles per hour.
102 knuckling. Yeah, sweet spot feels nice when you catch it, that's for sure.
99 miles per hour.
99 knuckling. Still got to the 315 mark. So yeah, that'll wrap it up for the Anarchy Shatter. Again, 12 and a half ounce, one piece. Me and Keith, between the two of us, we got to about 70 swings total. Again, it's a little hard to see in this paint, but I'm not really seeing any webbing yet. I'll be interested to see what the final compression is here. Definitely feels like it needs more BP to open up. We have some bats that we're planning on bringing back out for part 2s to break a little bit more. So once we see final compression on this, definitely a candidate for that. But either way, really good feedback on this one. If you're a stiff one piece fan, this is gonna be a good option as well. Just make sure you BP it and get used to it, open up that sweet spot. But now we're gonna move over to Everett Williams' Victus Vibe.
84 miles per hour.
That is a lot of carry for a ball I didn't square up.
94 miles per hour. 87 miles per hour. 91 miles per hour.
That's sweet spot towards the end.
Towards the end.
93 miles per hour. 96 miles per hour. 91 miles per hour. 93 miles per hour. 85 miles per hour. 92 miles per hour. 82 miles per hour.
Yeah.
How'd it feel?
Good. Really forgiving.
So we
Yeah.
had a lot of carry, and I'm
Yeah, I
willing
don't
to
think-
bet it's got a lot of compression still to go to break in.
Oh yeah, a lot of carry even when you miss it up and down the barrel. Still good.
All right, we got the Victus Vibe. Keith put about 30, 35 swings on there for us. Again, all pro M's. Not seeing any webs yet or anything like that. I mean, you heard Keith talk about it. Felt like the lots of forgiveness, good sweet spot, but still need to kind of open up a little bit more, which, I mean, makes sense. So let's see what we got out of this one.
95 miles per hour.
Oh no,
93 miles per hour.
there's one, way under it, but forgiveness is there.
110 miles per hour.
Well, there's the sweet spot, and that felt phenomenal.
105 miles per hour.
There's the sweet spot as well. All right. Okay. Keith, thanks for breaking in, my guy.
94 miles per hour.
There's a kind of ugly swing, but yeah, and I mean, this is pretty spot on with what we've seen from like the Victus pencil bats, the Marucci Cypher, as far as really good velos, performance off the sweet spot, but then outside of those sweet spots, whether they've been large, small, as you're breaking them in, you get a lot of carry. That one pitch might have been a hair low. Instead of adjusting and making a good swing, I just let my arms kind of go to it, caught a little higher up on the barrel, and I mean, that thing still carried well over our 315 mark. So I can only imagine as we actually web this thing up a little bit here shortly, hopefully, and open it up, how much better it's going to perform. But obviously I made Keith got to swing the Shatter and the Vibe first now, so when we get to AOW, I'll swing first and let him take some swings with a bat that's actually a little broken in this time. There it is.
102 miles per hour.
Slightly missed the sweet spot, but you could feel it. Yeah, and the best part about the Vibe is it gives you really good feedback on where you caught it. When you catch no kidding sweet spot, you get that normal just ball jumps off, you can tell on the hands. That one was probably a hair high of the sweet spot. You get a little bit of a different change in sound, but you can still tell there's not any sting, and that extra stiffness in there, let's catch really high. And obviously, as you saw there, ball carries great.
109 miles per hour.
Yep. That sweet spot's opening up real nice. Not that it wasn't good from the start, but you can just tell it's getting better and better.
104 miles per hour.
Goodness gracious. 3 out of the black bag and we're done. Now that I know it's the bat getting better, not the ball really mattering too much.
97 miles per hour.
Whew. Okay.
113 miles per hour.
That was every bit of the sweet spot. And the last 2 swings got a little bit of a different sound. Wondering if it kind of hit that next gear. There's a little bit of web starting. So hoping that's just that sweet spot opening up. There we go.
104 miles per hour.
That was all the sweet spot. Whew. Well, there you have it for the Victus vibe. I talked to Everett a little bit about it. I mean, I knew it was going to be a good one. Victus, Marucci, both of those different, obviously the Cypher, vibe, pencil bat, beacon. Each bat has felt really good. Honestly, I think the beacon, and I got to talk to them a little bit about it. They wanted to make sure you had a bat you could BP a whole bunch with it being the first one out. That one took a little more break-in. Was probably slightly worse than what we swung since, but I say that very, very minimal. The pencil bats were fire, Cypher, and now the vibe. From swing number 1, and Keith agreed, really good sweet spot, tons of forgiveness, and then all we saw was the forgiveness continue to increase as the sweet spot obviously expanded, which makes sense. But then you saw that uptick in velo, all that kind of stuff as well, and feeling really, really good. Excited to see what it's doing for compression. I have to leave for the airport in about 3 hours, so when we get back, I'll let these sit as long as I can, try to get a final compression just before I leave, so it won't sit nearly as long as it usually does. If we have any compression issues with any of these, then I will do another compression test when I get back from Canada on Tuesday. Today's Wednesday, so next week. And at that point, I'll throw down in the comments with a pinned comment what that final compression was. But let's head over to AOW13. I'm gonna take the swings first here this time, get up to about 30 so that Keith has something somewhat broken in. But all these bats are gonna finish right between that 60-70 swing mark with purely Pro Ms. All right, now for the Pure AOW13. This is, again, 26 half-ounce end load, so 26.5 on the sticker. We got to swing the 12-inch earlier in the year. Felt really good. Obviously, it was a little colder weather, so interested to see what this does now, this time of year. As we mentioned earlier, we're sitting right about 80, 85 degrees, somewhere right between there. With the unusual humidity, we don't usually get that out here in New Mexico, but let's see what this thing can do for us. Again, all Pro Ms today on this video.
97 miles per hour.
Okay, a little higher up on the barrel, but came off pretty well. You got the feedback you want on the hands to know that's where you caught it.
94 miles per hour.
I felt like sweet spot. Yeah, good carry though. I mean, to be expected. Again, the AOWs were meant to be more of their game ready tech. I do know it started at 275. But the compression usually comes down a little faster on these than like the signature models like Lambright, Irvine, am I forgetting? CE and Roof X.
101 miles per hour.
That was our sweet spot for sure. At least based on the feel and the way it came off that knuckle. Oh, that's the end.
87 miles per hour.
It's real high up on the barrel. But I will say, the AOW, the 12-inch had pretty good forgiveness, if I remember correctly. This one definitely has a lot of forgiveness, which makes sense with being a longer barrel.
106 miles per hour.
Yep, that's the sweet spot.
103 miles per hour.
I'd have been right off that 315 fence. There it is.
98 miles per hour.
That felt like the sweet spot again. Sound, feel, really good carry. I mean, this thing's definitely pushing out to 350 plus pretty easy. Because, I mean, again, we don't have a fence TV measurement. We use the 315 mark as just a relatively standard kind of softball distance, especially for us out here with a little bit extra elevation being at 30, I think it's 600 feet we're at right now. But between the heat and everything, we hoped it would kind of mimics closer to that 300-foot field. Obviously, it's not a exact science. It's just so you have a visual reference. But obviously, we still have the radar so you can see how these bats are performing.
104 miles per hour.
There's our sweet spot, and almost got hit in the eye with some paint.
110 miles per hour.
There's every bit of the sweet spot there. And again, a little bit of a different sound. I think it's starting, like I said, to just open up more and more, and I'll be interested to see where the compression is on this one, and really with all of them, with them all starting the same and having the same amount of swings, or right around the same amount of swings, seeing how they're doing compression wise.
97 miles per hour.
Well, good stopping point. So there you have it. AOW, again, that's right at about 35 swings from me. Keith will come up. We'll let you know where he finished at with the real quick final thoughts when he's done. But not really seeing any webbing on this one yet. The only thing we've got so far is, and it's been somewhat common at times with the BTG paint job, but you can see we got paint flaking off there. But good news is, if you have the paint flake off where the bat's like unusable, depending on where you play, you can send it back to Pure and they'll redo the paint for you without using your warranty. But either way, let's get Keith up here and let him see what the AOW is all about. He's our Pure guy as far as the guy out here who actually games Pure, so see what he thinks about it.
87 miles per hour. 85 miles per hour. 85 miles per hour.
We broke it.
Broke it?
Yeah.
It's broken. God, Keith's one's already broken. All right, Keith claims it's broken. He might be right. We're gonna find out. Probably should put batting gloves on.
84 miles per hour.
Nah, it's still gas. Let's see.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Oh, it's broken.
86 miles per hour.
Trash can.
Nope, he's right.
Yeah, no.
All right, well, I mean, obviously, this is, I think it's the what? Is this the first Pure we broke on a review?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the first one we broke. We've talked about this before. It happens, right? Every now and then you get something where the fibers didn't set right, whatever it is. But this is what Keith was talking about. I didn't see it when I got done just because I think it was right where the paint flake was. But as you can see there, when he handed it to me, just so you know, this is what, it was like this, just not as lifted up. It was just flat. Then I just took those three more swings. But yeah, so here at the end, you're obviously not gonna see a final compression here on the AOW. But as far as the vibe goes, toss me that shatter real quick too. Yeah, so you won't see a final compression here on the AOW13, obviously, but as far as the vibe and shatter goes, we kind of talked about it. But either way, with the shatter, this one definitely, to me, again, we're at like 60 to 70 swings. I would just keep swinging the crap out of this one. Really let it open up for you. If you're a stiff one-piece fan, this is definitely the way to go. I'm a 12.5-inch barrel fan, as I've mentioned before. It's typically my favorite. That's what this one sits at. So to me, still had a good feel. Still had a really good sweet spot. Just a little bit small right now, and I still don't see any webbing. So we'll see where it's testing at. Most videos, we get closer to that 100 swing mark. Obviously 100, 110. But that's with about 40 52s mixed in. So all we're doing is missing the 52s right now, which really shouldn't touch the compression too much on USSSA. But we'll get this back, test that for you. Vibe, Keith said it, I said it. Again, what Victus and Marucci's doing right now, I know their goal was to kind of switch things up just slightly on all their first kind of drops so that you're not getting the same thing twice. And I think they've done a great job of it. Even though it's the same specs as, let's say, the Beacon, I think with the Beacon, it felt more like, okay, I need to BP it. It's got a good sweet spot. Forgiveness was pretty good, but you need to open up. This one started with really good forgiveness from swing number one. Keith really liked it, even with him still kind of getting loose this morning. And then as you saw there, as I got lucky enough to be the one swinging a second, we saw the kind of a sound change, performance change there in the middle, and we'll see what this one tests at. And then lastly on the AOW, again, I know a couple of guys that are swinging this in conference. This is, I think, an abnormality. I haven't heard a lot of guys reach out and be like, hey, dude, my OW broke or whatever. So I'll get with Pure. We'll work on grabbing another one of these for you guys and go from there. But like I said, it could be anything from just the composite didn't sit right on this one bat, whatever it is. So we'll work on getting another one of these out for you. We'll also have Kylie Studioso's new revival, USSSA and USSSA coming, swinging it next week when we get back. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. But in the swings we did get off this one, like I said, tons of forgiveness. Reminds me a lot of kind of like a tantrum with a slightly stiffer barrel, two-piece tantrum that is, with a slightly stiffer barrel, which for me, I really like that because it gave you really good feedback. Good sweet spot, relatively smaller sweet spot to start, but lots of forgiveness. But either way, like I said, let me get back to the garage and you'll see the final compression here coming up shortly. All right, just real quick, since obviously we had the AOW break on us, Keith got shorted and he's our one guy that makes about an hour trip out here. He wanted to try out the vibe with, now that it feels pretty darn broken in. So you're gonna see about, he took about 20 more swings You're gonna see that footage right now before the final compression. So just wanna let you know, this now is gonna reach right about 100 swings, all Pro M's. We'll see where this tests at and what Keith thinks about it broken in.
91 miles per hour. 94 miles per hour. 102 miles per hour. 102 miles per hour. 101 miles per hour.
Yeah, finally.
96 miles per hour. 95 miles per hour. 90 miles per hour.
Yeah, towards the end. I would have got it.
320.
95 miles per hour. 98 miles per hour.
Yeah,
So now what do you think of the broken in?
yeah, broken in, it's night and day difference between, you know, fresh out of the wrapper and what, about 100 swings now?
Yeah, we finished right at 100.
Yeah, so, no, this thing is stupid. Once it gets broken in, it's stupid hot too, I'm dying. It's fat.
All right, real quick before I got to head to the airport, let's just get a final compression on these for you. Again, we're not going to have a final compression on the AOW, but up first, the Anarchy Shatter. And again, I normally like to let these sit for 24 hours. This is instead about an hour after we got done. So you can expect 5 to 10 PSI back just based on the fact we used them, heat, things like that. But either way, right about 260, 265 on the Shatter. And then on the Victus Vibe, which this one, as I mentioned, got those bonus swings. So it's sitting about 100, a little more than 100 swings, all Pro M's, which is a lot more Pro M's than we usually put. And even then, still sitting about 255. And again, this hasn't sat very long. And then, like I said, we'll reach out to Pure and work on getting another AOW13, redo that one. I think that was mostly just bad luck. Either way, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching Average Dude's Slow Pitch. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more content.